harder. We're back.
And so is the LSQ. But before we get into detail, let's show you what 2021 has in store for us. So the HQ, we've all seen the HQ last year. We've done a T5 swap. We've put pace genie extractors. Genie extractors. We've built a full exhaust for it, but we're still not happy. We want reliability. We want a little bit more power. So EFI is the way to go these days.
There's going to be a lot of people that argue that.
So we got a Holly sniper system for this car, which is going to be installed this year in a brand new intake manifold. It's a gorgeous bit of kit. So that's what's going to be expected of the HQ this year. Don't know when again, but this one's probably going to be pretty soon. So let's have a look at the Holly sniper.
Words cannot even describe how excited I am for this. This is something that we've been planning for a long time now. Like mid last year we were planning this.
We were looking at him for ages.
Yeah, looking at him, trying to do as much research as we can. We've actually had it here since November last year, but I've slowly been gathering all the parts because the idea is we want to do a build series where we have basically everything ready to go, and we want to try and get this converted from carby to EFI in probably a weekend or two. Mainly because I don't want to get this off the road because it's summertime now and this is the only car that I have that works. So I want to use it and enjoy it. But this is what we're going. It's Holly Sniper, it's the 4-barrel one, and we just want to see how it works. I want to see if it has the reliability that we're aiming for. I want to get rid of cold starts, I want to get rid of choke. I'm not worried about fuel economy, but apparently this will get us better fuel economy. Yeah, this one's going to be a really exciting build. So for all you HQ guys out there, 253 guys and 308s, and nearly anyone with an old V8, this is the build you want to subscribe to because this is going to be really interesting to see how it goes. So make sure you subscribe to see that. Sandman. The Sandman has been a car that everyone's been asking about for a long time now because we made the mistake of showing it many episodes ago now. What's happening with the Sandman is it needs a rebuild. It's got a 308 in it that's got zero compression in it and it blows more smoke than I don't even know what it does.
Thought you would have had something, Michael.
Yeah, I know. Blows a lot of smoke, alright? So the idea is we need to get this in here at some stage because we need to do an engine rebuild and a reco basically. It runs a Holden 308 with a Falcon T5 behind it just like we did on the HQ. I did this originally, this is the first one that I did it on. Drives really nice, it's a good car to drive. Actually handles surprisingly well too because it's got some massive sway bars in it. We don't even know when we get into this, to be honest. The reason why is because we want to test the Holly Sniper system on the HQ, and if it works and we're happy with it, then I'm going to do the same to this car as well too. So there's no point touching this until I know what I'm going to do with the intake manifold. So for now, she'll probably still get stored away for a little while longer and we'll get to this at a later date, but this one's going to be a good build.
Now this bloody car, my Fairlane, is causing hair loss.
What's happening, Nathan? Tell us all the great things that are happening with this car.
We just can't get a break with this car, you know.
Yeah.
So you all saw what happened in the wrap-up video of what happened to this car, and we're still trying to fix that problem. I got it fixed, and then turns out it was worse. So I really cannot catch a break with the rear end of this car because mechanically the thing's perfect.
Yeah.
And I just cannot get it on the dyno because of the diff. So we have a solution. It's coming. It's going to get done. and you will finally see it.
What we're planning on doing is actually getting the diff sent off to get basically
We're getting the
rebuilt.
diff sent off to get completely ripped apart and looked over and fix what needs to be fixed.
Because something's not right, and we keep trying to fix things, and it causes more problems. So
Yeah,
we're just going to start clean.
we just keep patching what we think the problem is. The rear end, we're taking it out, we're giving it to a professional to do it. But we're throwing our diff back in it, another one, just to dyno it. So
We're just working on the logistics of that at the minute.
yeah, we're trying to sort that out at the minute. So because now we've got to look at drag challenge.
Yeah.
We've got to start looking at that because the Sydney one depends on what's happening in Australia at the moment. But we've got to look at getting this car ready, reliable. You know, take it down to Heathcote, run it. We don't care about time. We just want to race the car. So we've got to prepare it for racing. So I want to put a tail shaft loop in it for the sake of putting a tail shaft loop in it because I like my floor. Because it's still got an aluminium drive shaft. So if anyone wants to build a steel one for it.
We apologise that it has taken this long to get this on the dyno.
Really do apologise.
We really, really do. No one wants to see it as much as we do on the dyno. It's just been one issue after the other, and we're just trying our best to rectify it.
It's been a really painful process.
So it's just typical Fairlane stuff. 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
It's been like that the whole
It's been like
Fairlane.
that with every car.
Yeah, well, yeah. Kind of gives us an idea of the fact
Honestly,
that we don't know what we're doing.
Michael's HQ will probably be tuned before this, and the LSQ will probably get tuned before this.
Yeah, that's probably right.
But anyway, that's where the Fairlane's at. I really hope you stick around for it.
Yeah.
I know it's been a year, Ford guys.
Alright, so a little bit about this car. This car started life as a Falcon 500. It belongs to a friend of mine, Rodney, who, back when I was starting to build my HQ, had this car at exactly the same time and thought he was going to restore it. That was 14 years ago now. So the paintwork and bodywork was done about 8 years ago now, and since then it's basically sat in this shed here. But now we've finally managed to convince Rod to let us take the keys, and actually he's going to let us try and put this thing together. The overall goal is basically what Rod wants to achieve is obviously a GT replica. That's what we're going for here, and we're going with a 351 Cleveland, which he's hoping he wants to get around the 400 horsepower mark. To do that, what we're thinking is potentially looking at a crate motor. We don't know exactly which crate motor we're going to go with yet. We want something that looks pretty original but still obviously gets around that 400 horsepower mark. So if anyone knows of any engines that give that or crate motor that does that, yell out, because we're in the market for one obviously. We're going with the 4-speed top loader, which we're going to have to get rebuilt obviously to suit 400 horses. We have that, we just need to get that sent off to get rebuilt as well too. But all the parts that are missing that you, like interior wise and stuff, Rodney has, they're all here. We just basically have to put it all together and sort of just take our time with it and get it on the road.
By March.
By March. Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, this should be a really fun one. This is well out of mine and Nathan's league. Nathan's smiling right now because he's dealing with another Ford again, so he's pretty stoked. And look, to be honest, so am I, because who doesn't love a Wild Violet XY? When are we going to see this on the channel again? We don't know exactly. We're still trying to figure out the logistics of that. We're hoping to maybe we'll start seeing this early in this year. Maybe March, I reckon, probably around March. And like we said, it'll be something that you'll see on and off the channel around other projects, because this is probably the biggest build that we've ever done. Like, as the LSQ was a big build, but we're actually taking care of nearly all of this in this case, and it's a bare shell essentially, apart from the fact that it's been painted and it's got suspension under it. It's basically bare as bones, so this will be a long-term project for us. But yeah, this will be a good one.
This is my 1984 XE Falcon. And this is going to be this is probably the second big build to this year, to the XY, because running through my head last night what we need to do to this car, there's actually a lot.
What are you talking about? You sold it to me as it'll be really easy, we'll just chuck a V8 and it's done.
It's not as easy as chuck a V8. It's complete running gear out, diff, gearbox, engine, probably drop the subframe because it all needs to be rebuilt. It is horrible, this car. I've owned this car for probably 7 to 8 years now, and I've done nothing underneath other than put coilovers in it. and obviously mechanical stuff and roadworthy stuff, but it's pretty bad under there, and it's starting to show it as you drive it. Like the steering box is knackered. It's like driving a 50s car in the movies. You're like this, and you're moving nowhere. That's about it. I've just driven the car. Like the 250 Crossflow is mint. The AC works and everything.
Yeah.
This car's a gem.
So what we're saying is we're going to take a really good car and destroy it.
But it's time. It's going to see an EB diff, 308 gears. It's going to see a C4 automatic, and it's going to see a 302 Windsor. And
Can I just put a little like asterisk in here where it says this is Nathan's today plan? This could change nearly hourly. Because
I'm set. It's going to be a good project. I'm really looking forward to this car because I've really neglected this car. It's kind of just been put away and with a cover on it, while the Fairlane got all the fame and glory and all the money. And this car kind of just is like backup when the Fairlane's not working. It's like, XE still runs.
Yeah. Kind of like my Sandman.
Yeah, it's exactly like Michael Sandman. It's a real shame to pull it apart because it works so well, but it's so slow.
But Nathan doesn't have a V8, so Nathan has to experience what it's like to have a V8.
I need a V8. Even though I wanted to put a Turbo 6 in this, but it's V8 time. So the S-Pack stripe, it's not an S-Pack, but I just put the stripes on it because I can. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to a little V8 in here. Little Windsor.
So the G&W, what's happening with that? Well, that's been a roller coaster of emotions. We've just about finished it. You'll understand why it's been a roller coaster of emotions when you watch the videos, but they're coming out soon. You should see them in the next few weeks. It's basically just about done.
Ish.
But that will be back. It's been one hell of a... just the mental thought of it all. It's been great fun. Really, really good fun. Everything went really smoothly. Can you believe that? Does that look believable? Yeah, that'll be back. You'll see that shortly. It's been a good build. It's been an interesting one at the very least, but it's just about done. So we should see that on the screens very soon, in conjunction with the LSQ, and then we'll move on to all the other stuff that we have to get done, which there's plenty of it.
I guess now though, what we should talk about, or take everyone through, is the one everyone came here to see.
This beautiful Goldilocks in the background.
Yep, it's time to bring her down, and we'll run through her, right?
So we've shown you the projects that we're going to have out throughout the year. There's going to be more as well. There are other cars, small projects, but they're the big ones. But it's time to get back to the big boy. This is the main one for the start of this year. We're finishing off last year's project. Unfortunately, we didn't do everything because we didn't have time. We had other projects to do. But either way, let's do a full detailed rundown of what's happened to this car and what we need to do to get it finished. So Tin Man took the car back and he did a lot of work and he's taken it to a lot of places to get work done. So let's start off with the interior.
Yeah, it actually has an interior now. It's no longer just a shell.
So before we look at it, Adam and Rob at A&R Auto Upholstery in Keilor East, they did the whole interior, everything. They trimmed everything, the carpet, down the roof line, down the seats, down the door cuts. So they did a freaking amazing job. What Tin Man asked for was houndstooth strip going down the middle, and they pulled it off perfectly. So get in there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sit in it because it's too nice and my shorts are always dirty. So it's got full carpet, it's got sound deadening, it's got probably insulation under that. You're not going to hear a peep out of this thing. Obviously the AC unit, you guys haven't seen this. He's gone for a vintage air AC unit. So a big thank you to Brian and Lynn from Brilin Air Conditioning. They crimped all the hoses and set up all the AC. But the interior is gorgeous. The houndstooth, it come up mint, honestly.
Yeah, I'll admit when your dad said to me like I'm gonna go tan interior with the houndstooth inserts, I was like, okay, it'll be different. But I tell you what, it's actually It's something different. It looks, it
really
catches your eye. Otherwise, just a tan interior. This breaks it up. It's beautiful.
So we've got full autometer gauge instrumentation. Obviously, we've got 2 gauges down here because unfortunately they don't all fit. It's got 2 speakers, or I think it's got 1 speaker hidden up under the dash. Oh, which reminds me, stay there.
Stay here. What are you doing?
So, old drinking songs deserves to go back in this car now. She belongs in there. That's back to her home, back to her roots. For when old mate was sinking the piss driving the HQ back from the pub.
Probably well over the limit too. Back in the day.
So that is the interior done. They've done a freaking amazing job.
When you look at the headlining in this, like it just looks phenomenal. You can see why we didn't do it. We wouldn't have the patience to get that right. It would have just been slapped together. But as a floor mat, the floor mat goes all the way over the tunnel too.
Yeah, so they've made their custom made floor mats.
I like the what is this? What do you call these hats?
Old man hat.
Old man hat? No, there's a name for fedora.
Fedora.
The fedora to match the trimming. That's a nice little touch. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, so clean parcel shelf, no speakers.
Parcel shelf's been leathered up as well
Yeah,
too.
they're all rolly seatbelts as well, brand new rolly seatbelts.
All this is brand new. Like all the door trims are brand
Door
new.
trims are all brand new.
Jeez, that looks good. The piping, doesn't it? Like
Yeah, you should get yours redone.
that's a lot better than my one because my one is just like chrome tape that I put over the door trim to get it to look good. Mine is stuffed. I need to redo mine actually. Oh, they actually sound like a proper door. Mine don't sound like this. Nowhere near it.
So, big thank you to A&R Upholstery for doing all the work. If you want to check them out, head over to Facebook or give them a ring.
Well, you know what we should do? We'll put all the links to the descriptions that we can of people that worked on
When we
this
say it.
in the description, and then
Yeah.
people can follow it from there.
Yeah, I like that.
There's been a lot of work under this engine bay.
There's a lot going on. So Johnny from JSR High Performance Auto Electrical did all the electrical. So Michael and I did the engine harness, but then Johnny came in and did all the rest of the electrical because electrical is quite a big important part of the car. And
Yep.
he come in and did all the electrical, and really neat. Like you can't even. It's really neat. Got a giant isolator right there, easy to access, kills the battery. Tin Man did a lot of the work under the bonnet. Spent a lot of time, brackets, like all these are mounted. We do need to still sort out an air box to make it engineerable.
Yep.
There's a lot. There's so much to talk about. It's not funny.
They've been really busy. In the time that it was gone, it's only been gone since what, November?
This car's been built in 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah, in total, yeah.
In 5 months, this car's been built. So there's a lot of people that have had a hand in this car. We couldn't have built it in 5 months.
No.
We did a lot of the restoration and underneath and stuff, but there's a lot of people to thank. If you guys have any questions, we didn't do it all, but we know everything about the car. So if you have questions about what's been done, like the power steering hose and stuff, that got taken down to, we got a Commodore one, and then a HQ power steering box, and then we went down to Pertec and they joined it for us.
Yeah.
But if there's any questions like that, let us know because we can answer your questions to help you on your conversion.
Yeah, because when this is done, we'll probably do a question and answer on this whole thing.
Yeah,
and
like
talk
there's a
about
lot
that
of
for-
things that you guys didn't see, but we're willing to help you out.
We got to talk about this. This Radiator is
So-
one of the best looking Radiators I've ever seen in my life.
If there's, every car guy knows when you get a part and you get that part and you just look at it in awe and you just think this is the best looking thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
Like it could either be when I got the turbo for my Fairlane, that was my baby. That was
My
my
baby.
baby. And if radiators could be babies, it's this radiator. It's freaking gorgeous. Even down to the laser cutting and the chrome behind the thermo shroud. Get a look at that. So Ferntree Gully Radiators. Ferntree Gully Radiators built the radiator for this car. It's a 3-core brass radiator. It's been TIG welded, so brass tanks. 3-core dual thermo fan. They built the whole radiator. I don't know, words can't describe it. It's a freaking gorgeous radiator. Because, let's be honest, cooling is probably the most important part of your car, as the Fairlane is struggling with cooling at the moment. Michael's Patrol
And
is
my
struggling
Patrol
with
is
cooling
struggling
at the
with cooling
moment.
at the minute.
So, radiator is a lot.
Yeah.
So, this radiator is well and truly gonna keep this thing cool.
Yeah.
Tin Man and all the guys that have worked on it have done an amazing job, and that's why we're showing you through all this, because there's just been so much that's been done to it, and done to one hell of a, it's just an exceptional level. Like, the amount of time that has been spent in this. When it was gone, we basically left this for like, what, maybe 2 months, I think it was, because we got rid of it in November, and Tin Man's basically been on it ever since it's left, and you can see that. Like, it's coming up beautiful. Everything looks like it's meant to be there. Everything's in the right spot. Everything is P-clipped. Everything is actually, bolted down. It's not just all sitting there and gonna give us grief in the future. It all looks legit, and it's really exciting to see, because we are so close to basically getting this thing done now. So, obviously a lot has been done. What's left for us? We have a list. So, there's only a few things left. We're pretty lucky. Tin Man has done pretty much all the hard work for us. We get to do the little fun jobs again and basically get ready to start her up. So on that list, we're changing out the front springs, because the actual springs, they're only 375 pound, and as you can see, it's sitting a little bit lower than what we're after, and we've maxed out the coil. And I think that's because there is a lot of weight up front with the big radiator, the condenser, the cooler. There's a lot of weight in the front of this HQ, so we're changing it out to 500 pound springs. So we're just changing the spring itself. The coil over still stays, the shock at least part of it does. So we're changing that. We need to change the subframe bolts again, because we now have documentation as to the way that they're supposed to look. So we're going to do that. We'll show you how to do that when we get to that. We need to finish running trans lines to it. We need to bolt an exhaust onto it, which we've got an exhaust from Castlemaine Rod Shop, which is a bolt-in kit for LSHQs, and it is also engineerable as well too, so that's the headache that we don't have to worry about. We need to bolt check everything. We need to run a fuel filter and fuel tank breathers, and basically start her up and see if she runs. So really there's not that much. I'm pretty damn excited, I'll admit that's for sure. What about you?
I'm really excited to just fire it up, to be honest.
Yeah, we're so close, and then it's on the road and
enjoy it. Enjoy AC.
AC HQ goodness. AC LS 4L60E.
A cruiser. Reliable cruiser
it's
goodness.
Good reliable cruiser. That was the intention of this build. The build was always supposed to be a good, reliable, comfortable cruiser for Nathan's mum. Hence, Mum's LS. Might be a little bit more Dad's LS at this stage, I reckon. But that's how we got across the line in the first place. So fellas, take note of that one. It worked. So that's it for this episode. We're not doing any work today. Well, we are.
We are, but not on this episode.
Not in this episode. This is just an intro back into the LSQ, just because there was so much to talk about and to cover. So hope you guys have enjoyed the little rundown
of the queue.
And
if there is more questions, just message Hackshop on Instagram.
Yeah, this video is basically we just want to give a quick rundown of what you can expect from us in 2021 as far as some of the headline builds that we're doing. There's actually a few other headline builds that we can't show you at the minute because they're still in the planning process. Mm-hmm. A couple of really big ones and exciting ones as well too.
Very different too.
2020 was a huge year for us, because it was the beginning of Hackshop Garage and learning this whole YouTube game. But we're going to hit the ground running in 2021 and really hit this thing hard, and hopefully bring you guys some awesome content. So at the end of last year, we got contacted by Burson Garage, and they have decided to jump on board as a sponsor for the show. Burson Garage is a website that has been set up to basically help car enthusiasts or do-it-yourselfers, guys like us, kind of handy on the tools and want to have a crack.
But to give you tips and tricks on what you're doing.
So if you head over to the website and you sign up, you can get stuff like tips and tricks. You can get advice from some expert parts people. You can get exclusive members pricings, and they also run a whole bunch of competitions as well too throughout the year. And it's all free, so why not give it a go? It's actually a really cool website, and we're really excited to be working with Burson in the future. Thanks for reaching out, guys. It's going to be great help. And again, we'll be working with TI Performance as well and Raceworks as always.
Of course.
We'll see where the year takes us, but we're bloody excited to see what happens and get to do more cool stuff. And we got a big year, so we should probably get started.
Yes, we should really get started on this HQ, because the HQ needs to be out so the BMW can come back so we can put it in and look back at it.
Yeah. So let's get started.
Let's get into it.
I can see the smile on Nathan's face already.
We're back to a Ford, baby. Oh, that colour.
Why are you just sitting there? Oh, I've already got this one down. There's only 3 legs in a tripod, not 4, Michael. It's been a big day. Big day. We've had a big day today. We've moved about 100 cars to get this.
Yeah, I know.
To do this video. We've been all the way up to Castlemaine and back again. Pushed cars around off trailers. That's the trouble. All the cars that we moved today, which is probably like 5 or 6 of them, half of them run, half of them don't. Because half of them are broken.
Oh, I can just feel the snappiness already. Just bum, bum, bum.
I always forget how original it is underneath this.
It's a
bonnet.
friggin' original car. I bought this, so I was 16 at the time. Dad was like, don't worry about it, the car will come up. Anyway, he went to the scrapyard in Melton, and there's this XE sitting there, and $350 later, I have an XE Falcon.
Couldn't get one now for $350.
Yeah,